Welcome back to our weekly podcast, CHRYSALIS, The Family Adventures. Today we come to a dramatic major turning point, giving play to America's polarization in the civic household. Episode 63, Election Night. Fade in, voiceover. Previously on CHRYSALIS, The Family Adventures. Internal, the house, living room, dining area night. Mike. Let's change the subject. How about Kamala Harris getting the nomination? Joey. She didn't really get it. Nobody voted for her. Mike. It's not against the Constitution when a president becomes incapacitated. He has the obligation to appoint a successor if he's able to. Otherwise, the vice president assumes all his duties. Joey. Yeah, right. He was always incapacitated. He should have picked her on day one. Besides, they can hold a special election and let the people decide. Mike. That would depend on each state since most of the votes were already cast. Joey. Well, it don't matter anyway. She won't win. Her chances are even slimmer than his. Mike. How do you know? Joey. Come on, a black woman? I'm sorry to say America isn't going to want that. You've been in California too long, and she's even more radical than he is. She'll never get elected. Mike. I don't agree. First of all, you're talking about not just a criminal, but a felon. I can't believe people are going to just ignore that. Joey. People are angry. They want a man who stands tough against adversity, who represents what America is, not a bunch of immigrant countries. Mike. The real America is the America that welcomes people of all nations seeking a better life. The doorbell rings. Cut to Joey goes and opens the door. Amanda is there with an older woman with Mexican features. Joey is immediately shocked, then clearly shows a displeased look like he doesn't want either of them here. Cut to Amanda. Hola, amigos. Cut to internal, the house, Josh's room, early day. Josh is rudely awakened by the sound of his door opening. Joey. Where's that girl? I know she's the same girl. Josh. What are you talking about? Samantha's friend? Why are you looking here? Why would she? Joey looks under Josh's bed. Josh. Never mind. I know how your mind thinks. Cut to Joey. Oh, how naive you are. You're getting played and you don't even know that. Josh. Me getting played? How could I be getting played? Cut to internal, the house, Samantha's room, early day. Joey is inside and Samantha has just woken up. Both are angry. Joey. Things are going to change around here. Cut to you can't just have people over all of a sudden. Samantha, still half asleep, angry, pulling the covers around her. I can't do this. I can't live this way. Joey. Well, you're going to do this and you're going to live this way. Cut to Samantha, seething with anger. What's wrong with you? First of all, she went home like a normal person. Cut to Joey. Do you have any idea who you're harboring? Giselle opens the door and comes in. Giselle. Joey, come with me, please. Pulling Joey forcibly. To Samantha. I'm sorry, sweetie. Cut to Joey as he starts to cooperate and leave with Giselle. I don't talk with dangerous criminals. Caption. And now, continuing on, in and out of the cocoon. Theme music / display. Caption. The family adventure continues. Internal, the house, living room, day. Giselle. Joey. I know you have your opinions, but you gotta stop this. This is worse than anything a bunch of illegals, who I agree with you should be deported out of the country. Joey, after waiting. You gonna finish your sentence? Giselle. I think I made my point. Joey. So you think a father rightfully wanting to protect his ignorant kids from danger is worse than the danger itself? Because that's what you're saying. Giselle. Oh my God. Joey, please, calm down. We'll go vote and pray, okay? Joey. We're going to need a lot more than that with all the election rigging these illegals in concert with the Democrats are planning to do. Giselle. Well, you stay away from Washington and don't get involved with any of those groups like you did the last time. Joey. I won't have to. You think my friends are going to just stand by and allow 2 stolen elections? Giselle. Joey. Take a sedative, please. I don't want you getting hauled to the hospital over this nonsense. Joey. I gotta work. Did you forget that? Giselle. These elections are getting too unhealthy. Just take a pill. It takes a second. Joey gives her an angry, I'm going to cooperate reluctantly look. Internal, the house, living room, day. Mike and Josh are sitting on the couch. Josh flashes a knowing smile at Mike, who looks more relaxed and calmer than usual. Josh, I'll bet when Dad comes home, you'll be feeling so good, nothing he says will get to you. Mike, yeah, you did make a good call setting me up with Elena, but I'm not euphoric just because I had a date and it went well. Last night was a good meeting of two people who enjoyed each other's company. Josh, it ended well, right? Mike, yes, it ended very well. Josh, glad I hooked you up with her, huh? Mike, glad you introduced us. Maybe there's a chance for this association to breathe in a relaxed, healthy way. Josh, well, if she's anything like Amanda, you two should be doing a lot of breathing together. Mike, Josh, it's just a whole different thing between us. If anything happens, it will be very romantic and relaxed. Josh, you mean nothing happened last night? Mike, not along the lines you're thinking, but something big happened for us and we want to keep it that way. Josh, shaking his head. You grown-ups make things too complicated, Mike. You'll understand when you get to our age. We like to take things slow. Sound of key turning in door. Mike. Oh, there they are. I expect full election drama. Joey and Giselle enter the house. Joey. Figures they picked today to have a big pile-up. They remove their coats, and Joey hangs them up in the closet near the door and drops his keys in the table cup. Mike. Oh, great. That means many people are getting out and voting. Joey. No, it doesn't mean that. It's the roads they're tying up. That's their signal that they're planning a steal. Mike. What are you talking about? Giselle. Joey. Joey. It seemed like forever just to get a quarter of a mile from the polling place. Should have come home and walked. Mike. That would have been a great idea. I thought you were talking about the polling place being tied up with lots of people voting. Joey. The polling place was dead. Not even these liberals here in California like Harris. Mike. Not like you, of course. Joey. Of course not. And this time I had my wife by my side. I know she didn't vote for socialist commie. Mike. I guess people are really voting early in mail-in ballot. Joey, figures a place like this, California, like you and this kid, probably also voted for commie. Mike, yeah, probably. Joey, and this is how they steal elections. Giselle, Joey, please calm down. Mike, how do they steal elections? The same people that process the same-day results process the early voting and mail-in ballots. Joey, that's what you think. Mike, no, that's what I know. Joey, not true. And I'll tell you exactly how and why. The extra time gives them a chance to doctor up the results. Mike, actually, they don't process the early results until the polls close on election day. They're not allowed to. Joey, no, and I'll show you where you're wrong. Look at the difference in the 2020 results. Trump's numbers were in landslide territory on election day when the results started coming in. Then, all of a sudden, sometime overnight, everything changed. I mean, have you ever seen a whole complete turnaround ever since you've been alive? They started counting the early voting and mail-in ballots, and all of a sudden the results changed. It was like two completely different elections. Mike, it wasn't that dramatic. It's just that your demographic tends to vote on the day, while more progressive people are people for whom getting to the polls on election day aren't as easy. So they have to vote early and on weekends, like hard-working people who don't have the luxury of owning their own business, who have to punch a clock working for someone else. And voting by mail helps the disabled and the elderly vote without having to fight cold winds and rain and other difficulties getting out the door to vote. And these people, of course, are going to vote progressive because progressives have always been on their side. If anything, 2020 was the most representative and therefore democratic election we ever had. Joey, oh yeah? By your logic, then, this country's always had a skewed result in the past when the only way to vote was the right way, the regular way. Mike, of course, because I can't see how anyone in their right mind would vote for a party that's hurting them. Thank goodness the pandemic forced us to go out of our way to make sure everyone could vote. But that's what we have to do every time, not just because there's a pandemic. Joey, well, I feel sorry for you. You're going to be so disappointed this time. Unless they're creating havoc again and planning a steal, which wouldn't surprise me at all. Giselle comes in with some food. Giselle, dinner! Come on, everybody, have a seat. Yelling, Samantha! Dinner! Everybody sits down. Joey, get me a beer. In fact, Get 2 beers. Giselle gives Joey a dirty look and goes into the kitchen. Briefly, Samantha comes down with Amanda and grabs the extra seat that's there for her. Joey's expression turns angry, clearly not wanting her here. Giselle, returning, placing Joey's beers for him. Oh, you're staying tonight? Joey, nobody's staying tonight. You eat and go home. Thanks, honey. Mike, it's dangerous where she lives. Her grandma rarely goes out. She just stays there most of the time. It's really sad. Joey, and you want to vote for Kamala Harris? Mike, that's right, I do. And let me tell you something else. That's just the kind of person voting by mail really helps. It's a really bad neighborhood. Do you think they're going to chance their safety trying to get to the polling place? Giselle, sorry to interrupt, but I'm really amazed how this one started coming around, and now we never see Kamala no more. Joey, what's so amazing about that? Giselle, Joey, don't start. Sudden realization look. Oh, I see what's going on. Joey, it took you this long to pick up on it. To Samantha, do I need to have this lecture with you again that I had to have with your other friend? Samantha to Amanda, always trying to keep us all virgins so guests get an early curfew. Joey, taken aback. Excuse me? Amanda, smiling, practically laughing out loud. You're kidding, really? Quieter to Samantha. Does he know he's late? Joey, at first almost choking, then with raised eyebrows. To see what happens when there's no mother or father? Samantha, yeah, they turn into you. Joey, excuse me? I never turned into that. I was raised by my mother to be a good boy and treat the ladies with respect. Josh, my condolences. What a waste of freedom. Mike, can we change the subject, please? Joey, oh, we hit a sore spot. Mike, how about the election? I'm going to turn on the TV. Joey, I see you love to suffer. Don't put it on the fake news. Mike, oh, I definitely won't put it on the fake news channel. Joey gives Mike a nasty look. Joey, you think you're funny, but it's all going to change in the morning. You're just going to cry now while they call it correctly, and then they're going to change it to the fake results and you'll be dancing. Mike, turning on TV. I hope so. TV voice. Off-screen voiceover, filtered in background. Missouri has a result. It's 10 electoral. Giselle, I made some really good brisket. TV voice, off-screen filter. Voiceover. Votes go to Trump. Mike, yeah, Giselle. Why don't you just bring it over here? Giselle, displeased tough. You can come get it. I'll leave it on the table. Mike, totally tuned in to TV. Okay, Giselle, thanks. Joey, look at him. He thinks if he focuses his mind on the box, it'll change the result. Mike, you do the same thing over football. Joey, yeah, but I don't believe my going wild is going to change the result. It's just part of the fun. Giselle, sorry girls, you got to excuse these two. Election day is like their Super Bowl. Everything stops. Sam, I've been meaning to ask you, how are you doing with your catch-up studying? Samantha, caught off guard but covers. I'm doing it every day, Mom. Amanda's being very helpful. That's how she's replacing Kamala. Giselle, reacting to Samantha's overkill. Oh, I see. Well, make sure you keep it up. Joey gets in front of the TV along with Mike. TV voice, off-screen, voiceover, filtered. This is how things stand now. Trump has 210 to Harris's 112. It looks a little more weighted than towards the former president than 4 years ago. Joey, what is he talking about? It looks just like it did 4 years ago. Oh, I can tell. They're deliberately going to screw up now. We're up by almost 100. This definitely means trouble. Second TV voice, off-screen, voiceover, filtered. Yeah, and this seems to be an early call night, and this time it's favoring the president. Mike, wait a minute. You're supposed to be the happy one. We can't have both of us sulking. Joey, from your mouth to God's ears. Did they call Pennsylvania? Colorado? Mike, not yet. Oh, wait, they did call Colorado for Harris. Joey, they called Ohio and Texas for Trump. Mike, well, that was expected. No surprise there. What about the Midwest states? Joey, they called Ohio. Mike, I meant Michigan, Wisconsin. Joey, nah, they just got to the predictable ones so far. He's ahead by almost 100 electoral votes. I'm afraid to say it, though, because I'm afraid I'll jinx it. Mike, yeah, move over. I got a really sinking feeling about this. It didn't look this bad last time. Joey, again, from your mouth to God's ears. Mike, oh, it looks like Harris won one additional vote, one electoral vote in Maine. Joey looks at him like he's crazy. Mike, I wonder if Trump is going to pick up the other one. Joey, doesn't matter. They'll steal it back anyway. Giselle, quietly to girls. This would be a good time for you to head upstairs. They're so focused on their show, you could probably get away with it. And don't worry about last night, little girl. It was probably just Joey's pre-election jitters. He's been so on edge about it being stolen again. Mike, he just took Idaho. You think they'll steal that one too? Giselle walks with the girls toward the stairs, the men totally oblivious to them, and Amanda follows Samantha upstairs. Joey, oh, don't be ridiculous. That would blow their cover. Idaho for Harris? Mike, yeah, you got a point there. Hey, it looks like they're calling it for California and Washington. Harris. Joey, again, predictable. Means nothing. He's still ahead by, let's see, 214 to 179. Josh, 35. Joey, smart Alec. Thank you. Internal, the house, Samantha's room, night. She's there with Amanda. Samantha, let's put on some music and chill. I'm kind of tired. Amanda, yeah, me too. We were up late last night. They lie down together in Samantha's bed, and Samantha turns on some chill music. Okay, so this is the chill music. If I started in the middle, it doesn't really matter. Well, that went smoother than anything else. Amanda, your folks are nuts. I mean, the men over the election. It's like one of them's going to die if Harris wins, and the other one's going to die if Trump wins. Samantha, yeah, Amanda. Life goes on anyway. Samantha. Do you wish you could vote? Amanda. Yeah, of course I do. But my life doesn't depend on it. Samantha. Who would you vote for? Amanda. Harris, of course. Samantha. Yeah, me too. They lie, looking into the unseen ceiling, occasionally toward each other, then start to doze off as the music continues. Internal the house living room day. Insert TV screen. Large caption reads, Trump wins New Hampshire. Harris wins one electoral vote in Maine. Below that are two boxes on the lower left and lower right with the candidates' names and their electoral counts. Trump, 248. Harris, 214. Giselle is serving coffee and goodies to the three men. Joey, there goes your second Maine vote. Mike, I guess the Pine Tree State is changing. Joey, show off. That's not the only thing that's changing. Giselle, wow, I'm impressed, Mike, that you know that. Mike, I spent a summer up there, learned a few things. TV voice, off-screen voiceover, filtered. Oh, I'm sorry, I called New Hampshire wrong. Those 4 electoral votes, now 5, all went to Harris. Joey, looks like they're getting an early start in their steal. See what I mean? TV voice, off-screen, voiceover, filtered. It looks like Elisa Slotkin is projected to win the Ohio senatorial contest against Republican Mike Rogers by a narrow margin or 2 million votes there. Other TV voice, off-screen, voiceover. To give you perspective, that's set against projected Republican wins in Missouri, Ohio, Tennessee, and it looks like Texas has been called for Ted Cruz, but by a very narrow margin, still placing the Republicans in a good position to take the Senate. The three men look transfixed. Giselle is showing some interest as well, but at least half her attention is on making sure refreshments are served and plates cleaned, moving in and out of the living room. First TV voice, off-screen, voiceover, filtered. This is a similar picture to the House, where Republicans are showing a sizable majority throughout most of the country, including rural areas and solid blue majority states. So it looks so far, based on all 3 races, presidential and congressional, that this is looking like a good night for Donald Trump and Republicans. Here's our reporter, Amy Shelworth, with an analysis of the trend. Joey to Josh. You haven't said much. TV voice of Shelworth. Off-screen, voiceover, filtered. Satisfaction with prices being the major issue, followed by immigration, always a concern when prices go up and wages remain stagnant comparatively. Josh, what do you expect me to say? I voted, you voted, here we are. The two older men look at him, a mixture of disappointed and curious. Josh, do you want me to tell you how satisfying it is to watch you two dying to know who I voted for, tortured by my keeping silent? This is tons more fun this way. It beats the show on TV. Giselle, entering room, placing and picking up items. Josh, I remember you said something about China and gun violence. Josh, which are two separate items. Joey, no, and I'll tell you why. Josh, China is about fierce economic and technological competition, which will decide the future of this country. If China could easily render us obsolete if we're not paying attention, guns are a completely different issue. Joey, that's what you think. Josh, that's what I know. I don't think in conspiracy-oriented ways. I look at facts. Now, guns are a big problem that could also render us obsolete if we don't regulate them and the wrong person picks up one and starts shooting everybody in sight. Joey, that's why your vote definitely should be for the man who will send back these people to their home countries who are shooting them off and raping children in Ohio. Mike, Joey, the information that was proven false had nothing to do with raping. The false charge was that they were stealing and eating pets in Ohio. Joey, don't you see that's part of the conspiracy because people will believe that it's a conspiracy, and that's how they get away with these crimes. Mike, so you're not going to tell us who you voted for? Joey, I think, no, he couldn't possibly. He was a mail-in voter. Josh, you forget something? I can't leave the house. Joey, oh, so you did vote for Trump because you understand the China threat. Josh, I didn't say that. Joey, come on, please, make me feel good because they're going to steal the election again. Mike, Joey, I don't think you have to worry about that because they just declared Trump the winner in Pennsylvania. He's just 4 votes short now. Internal. The house. Living room. Night. Mike and Joey are out cold on the couch with the TV going. TV voice off-screen voiceover filtered. So, with this win in Wisconsin, Donald J. Trump has officially gone over the 271 threshold, thus officially winning the White House in a political comeback rooted in appeals to frustrated voters. He is only the second president in U.S. history to win a second non-consecutive term. Internal, the house, Josh's room, night. Josh and Amanda are in front of Amanda's phone, which is displaying images of cheering people with balloons in Trump's headquarters. Amanda, so you think you can tell me now who you voted for? Josh, you said you didn't care. Amanda, I didn't say that. I said some people just take this whole thing too seriously because it's not going to really make that much of a difference. Josh, you really believe that? Amanda, well, it does make a big difference in the lives of a lot of people who are depending on it, but not in a greater scheme. Come on, I told you who I would have voted for. Josh, I would have voted for her too. Amanda, you mean you didn't vote? I saw you fill out the form. Josh, if I could have been sure she was going to take on the threat China poses. Amanda, oh, so you voted for Trump. Josh, I had to. I can see what's coming if we don't change course. Amanda, okay, Josh. She rolls out of his arms and just lies. Amanda, I respect you. Fade out. That was powerful, wasn't it?